What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. We've got a major breaking story. According to The Athletic, Bubba Wallace is not going to be returning to Richard Petty Motorsports in 2021 like we thought was going to happen. Wow, Bubba Wallace is not returning to Richard Petty Motorsports. Didn't see that coming, to be honest. I really thought Bubba Wallace was going to be returning to Richard Petty Motorsports in 2021. This story is continuing to develop for Bubba, but I'm not completely surprised. A lot of those sponsorships for Bubba Wallace are associated with Bubba Wallace, not Richard Petty Motorsports, so I'm not surprised on that front. But Bubba Wallace is everything he wants right now. He can go over to whatever team he wants. And now the big question is, where is Bubba Wallace going to end up driving for? So, there are a couple teams that he could end up driving for. The biggest rumor team right now is the 42 car, the Chip Ganassi car. A lot of rumors are speculating that he has an offer right now from Chip Ganassi Racing to take over the 42 car. I think that is the most likely place he is going to end up going to because there is one sponsor that they have in common with Richard Petty Motorsports, and that is McDonald's. McDonald's is associated with Richard Petty Motorsports, but Bubba could end up taking that over to Chip Ganassi Racing as well and have all that partnership. And not only that, if Bubba goes to the 42 car, they don't have to worry about sponsorship much because he's got Cash App with him. He's got Columbia. He's got all these sponsors that are willing to sign with him. Even Beats by Dre. They have all these sponsors that are willing to sign with Bubba Wallace. This is a huge shank in the deal as well for Richard Petty Motorsports as well because, you know, they're losing a driver and they probably just have to go back to square one, basically. The other possible team that Bubba Wallace can end up driving for, and this is a long shot rumor, there is a rumor that he could end up driving the number 48 car from Hendrick Motorsports. Hendrick Motorsports has not revealed their driver who could be driving the 48 car next year, but a lot of people think it could be Bubba. I'm still leaning a lot toward Eric Jones taking over the 48 next year, but there is a very good possibility that Bubba Wallace could be a candidate for the 48 car as well. And the thing with Bubba, Andrew Brimmer has shouted out Bubba a lot on Twitter, so it'd be no surprise if he goes over the 48 as well. I would not be completely shocked if he takes over the 48. Now, where do I think Bubba Wallace does end up going? I think Bubba Wallace is going to end up taking over the number 42 next year. I still think more likely he's going to be taking over the 42. They have common sponsorship over there. And while that ride isn't as good as people think it is, I think Bubba Wallace could do a lot with Chip Ganassi Racing. I think that they could end up performing a lot better. And I think, no offense to Matt Kenseth, Matt Kenseth hasn't been performing as well. And it's been likely rumored that Matt Kenseth is not returning next year to NASCAR next year at all. When he was on that podcast, The Late Shift with Brad Gillen and Brad Doherty, he talked about probably not returning next year to the Cup Series. But on the thing with Bubba Wallace, I think Bubba Wallace is going to end up in the 42 car. I think if he does go to the 42 car, I think his exceptions are get a top 20 into points, perform better than Matt did last year, get a good finish in the championship, and perform the best you can. And he has sponsorship, so they can look at making the cars better. On top of that, they have good sponsorship as well. You know, I don't know what's going on with Clover, but if they put Bubba in the car, all sponsorships are going to be like, yeah, I want to jump with Bubba, and I want to sponsor him as well. I want to jump in here and be like, yeah, definitely we're going to sponsor Bubba. With all the stuff going on in the climate right now, it would be no surprise if Bubba goes to the 42 car, so they have this secure driver. And Bubba could also, if he goes to the 42 car, he can learn a lot from a guy like Kurt Busch, who is a championship caliber driver. I don't think Kurt Busch would even have a problem at all having Bubba on his team. But a lot of people are still speculating it's going to be Ross Chastain. Who really knows there? And now with this probably coming out now, who will take over the 43 car? Well, there's a few rumored drivers that could end up taking over the 43 car. One of them is Clint Bowyer. Clint Bowyer is not confirmed he's going to return to Stewart-Haas Racing. There's been rumors going around, and even Greg Zipadelli said that they probably have all their drivers re-signed for next year. But I'm not completely sure if that is the case at all. I'm not 100% certain that it is confirmed that Clint Bowyer is returning to Stewart-Haas Racing. I know that Greg Zippy wants a guy like Chase Briscoe or a driver like Kyle Larson to drive that 14 car. I think they would rather have a guy that wants to go out and win races more than a guy who just wants to go back and drink a beer on every Sunday. But if Clint Bowyer goes over to 43, he does have that peak sponsorship that he could bring over to the team. You know, Clint Bowyer does have sponsorship with it. People forget that he does have sponsors. He does have Mobile One in a sense, even though that is a Sewer House Race sponsor as well. He does have some sponsors that can help him there. On top of that, there was a rumor that a music investor could be getting involved. What if that music investor is Blake Shelton and Clint Bowyer? There is that big possibility there. The other driver is if Eric Jones does not end up taking over the 48 car, the other rumor driver could end up being Eric Jones. Eric Jones could get up in a decent Richard Petty Motorsports car. He does have some sponsorship with them, or a company like Risers, and with the rumor of that team might be getting better next year. What if Eric Jones ends up staying with Toyota next year? What if Eric Jones, they go over to Toyota and they have partnership with Joe Gibbs, and maybe that could be where Eric Jones ends up next year. That's a possibility. There's other drivers being rumored. I've heard Brandon Jones' name thrown out the window. There is that big possibility, but Richard Petty Motorsports, it's no surprise Bubba wants to go to a better team. I don't think Richard Petty Motorsports is a terrible, terrible team, but they're not like a very, very competitive team. I don't think Richard Petty Motorsports is going to be the defining team for this generation, but they want to become a really competitive team again. And Bubba Wallace I think that at this point, they weren't going to switch to Toyota, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons right there. I still think likely it's going to probably be Eric Jones or Clint Bowyer, the two most likely that could take over the 43. But there might be another driver that we don't even really know who's taking over 43. What about a guy like Ross Chastain taking over 43? What about a guy like Justin Haley? Who you never know who's going to be taking over the 43 next year. But man, Bubba Wallace has everything in his shoulders right now. He has everything he wants. He has every chip in his basket right now. And there's a lot that he could do currently at the moment. Bubba Wallace has a lot of sponsorship. He's got a lot of things going good for him. And I'm really excited to see what Bubba Wallace is going to do. So I think there's a lot of good things coming for Bubba. And there's a lot of good things headed in Bubba's direction, And it's just amazing to see a guy like Bubba Wallace getting a lot of sponsorship, a lot of success. I think a lot of fans should be happy. Some fans definitely are not happy that Bubba is probably going to end up at a better team. But in my opinion, I am extremely happy to see Bubba Wallace getting a lot more sponsorship and being able to do this. I think this is a great move for Bubba Wallace. Wherever he ends up going, he's going to end up at a much, much better team. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's breaking news story. I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications so you're notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Link in the description below for that. And comment below your thoughts on today's video. I have a very, very special episode that will be coming out tomorrow morning. I did a video on the top 50 greatest NASCAR drivers of all time. It is going to be an hour-long episode for you guys. This is also the 300 subscriber special that you're going to be seeing on this channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos kind of like that here in the future, but this big breaking news story happening, I needed to get this out. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.